as you can see, I have more stuff. The stuff just keeps coming. There is a lot of material that's been going into this whole plumbing build. Today, what I want to do is prepare some of my pieces. I've been running a lot of the PEX line, which I'll show you, or I may have already shown you. I'm not sure the order in which I'm going to put these together. But I've got a lot of different things here that are not PEX ready. And what I want to do is solder some adapters to them in order to get them ready to accept the PEX that I've been running. And I just want to show you some of the preparation work that goes into these things. I've got some 90s here, and these are the street 90s. If you don't know what a street 90 is, it has a female end and it has a male end. So this end would not accept another pipe, but it will make a connection. So what I want to use those for is my shower valves, which I've got two right here. I've got two bathrooms, remember. One has a tub and a shower, and the other one is just a shower alone. So I'll show you that in just a second. What I'm also going to do is some outside Silcox. These are frost-free. So what this means is that this stem goes all the way down here and then closes tight down here, so that any water that's left inside here can drain out. This is a little vacuum breaker here, so all the water will drain out, so there's nothing in here to freeze. You put these in at just the tiniest bit of an angle so that can all run out. So I've already loosened this a little bit, and I'll show you. This comes off here, this stem comes out, and then this is the part that would make the seal, so that's empty. So the reason, obviously, that I would want to pull this out is rubber melts, and I'm going to be soldering this. My torch gets up, I think it's around 2,000 degrees, so that would easily melt these O-rings and make this pretty much useless. It'll just leak. So it's a good idea to take this out of the way before you do your soldering. I'm just going to put it back in just for a second while I know where it is. So I have two of those that I want to do. I also have my two laundry pieces. And this part on the top is called the hammer arrestor. And what that does, if you don't know what a water hammer is, when washing machines have very fast closing valves, so as that water is coming along at, say, this is a well, so we probably have about 60, 70 psi coming into the house, pounds per square inch coming into the house. So as that's coming through and it's filling up the washing machine, everything's fine, but then that valve immediately stops, and that can actually increase the pressure behind it up to 300 pounds per square inch immediately, just that quick slam. So if your pipes in your house, you hear them go boom when something closes, that's water hammer. So this helps arrest that. That gives the pressure some place to go instead of slamming into all the fittings. It's a good idea because a water hammer can really wreak havoc on a lot of your fittings and whatnot, and could even blow them out. So I've taken these off. There's a little plastic housing, much like the ice maker has here. So I pulled that off of there just so I wouldn't melt it, and for ease of showing you what to do. And I have male PEX adapters. So these PEX adapters, get it a little closer here for you. What that's going to do is that's going to get copper accepted in there, and then the PEX will crimp onto this here. I can't do that with this. I could get something that would thread onto here as well, but I figured I'd make a nice tight seal and solder everything. So I have a female version of that same adapter and a male version. The male version, as I said, will go into these fittings. So that slides right in there, and I'm going to solder that in. Then I can attach my PEX there. What I'm going to do for this, you can wet a rag and put it around these valves just to protect the O-rings and whatnot in here. But another thing that I have is this fire ice shield, it's called. And what this does, this keeps it so that the heat cannot transfer through here to get up in here. So I'm just going to spray this section of the valve with that, and then I'll solder that up, and that won't let the heat transfer through into this here. And then it just wipes right off. It's water soluble. So that one is going to go into that one. I have a bag of 10 of the 1/2-inch male sweat adapters. And I have 11 adapters that I add. No, actually, I might be all right. So another part that we're going to need to adjust is the ice maker for the refrigerator. So what I've done there is, because I'm thinking I may have enough now, but just to show you the difference, this is a female style, so I've taken a small section of copper pipe which will fit in there, and then that will solder into there, and that makes our connection for the ice maker. But if I have another one of those male adapters left over, I'm going to use that. I think I may have counted needing an extra one for this. Oh, those are the plastic screws that hold this on. Needed an extra one for this because I was just counting 4 here, 4 for the other shower, but we actually only need 3 for here. 1 for the shower, 1 for hot, 1 for cold. Nothing is coming out for the tub, so this will actually get capped. So I think I have enough of the male adapters. What else? I think those were all the things that I wanted to prepare today. I'll give a quick little overview of how to solder as well if you've never done that before. I know my class has, but if you're not part of my class and just watching this, give you a quick little run through on how to actually solder. Soldering for beginners, you're going to need some flux, and this is what this does is it cleans the fitting, but it also makes it so the solder, this is the solder here, will follow that flux, and it also follows the heat. So I'm going to get this set up and I will show you that. I had to buy a small little roll of solder. I usually buy them in 1-pound rolls, but all the solder I had was not lead free, which is fine for heating pipes and whatnot, but for water lines you have to use lead-free solder. So that is what this is. It's just so in case any of that lead were to leak into the water system, they just want to make sure that doesn't happen. So it's called a lead-free, or I think some of them are called Silver Bright, 95.5, you know, any number of those things. But as long as it does not contain lead, you will be fine. So I have that, and I've set up kind of a makeshift station here, so nothing I get dirty today will be, or any flux on today will be a problem. What to start with? I guess I'll start with one of the frost-free Silcox. So I'm going to take this, and that is my female one. I'm going to take, I don't know where I put the male. Oh, there it is. In with my laundry. All right, so that's going to go in like so. So before I do that, I want to make sure all my surfaces are clean. I have a little wire brush here. Just want to get inside there. Even if things are brand new, you still want to make sure that you've given them a nice run through, just in case there's any manufacturing oils or anything on there. Has to be nice and clean, or else you could end up with a leak. And I also want to get the outside of this. Anything that the solder is going to be touching, I want to make sure it's getting nice and clean. So I don't have to do the inside of the pipe. I don't have to do inside here, because this section is going into this section, like so. All right, so I have that. Now I want to make sure I get flux on everything. Give that a nice swoop around there. Give another, and you don't have to worry about these threads. There are threads on here. That's just another way to attach. I'm not threading anything on, as I had said. I can just do a nice tight solder on everything. So that is going to go like that. And when you're doing this too, you'll notice that I don't have any PEX attached to this. PEX is plastic. So if I attached my PEX, put this in, and then soldered it, all I'm going to do is just melt that PEX, and I'm going to have to start over. So no PEX, let this cool off, then I'll attach the PEX later on. So I've got that like that. Got my torch over here, and got my rag. How am I looking here? There we go. Okay, get that out of the way. Nope. be like so. Okay. All right, so I have a rag. I've got the solder, and I have my torch. So this is a self-lighting torch. All I have to do is pull the trigger and it starts, but they also make things called strikers that make sparks, get the gas running, and you just give it a click and it'll start. All right, so I'm going to put my rag on the floor to catch any flux that may fall. That's in there. I have my torch ready, have my solder ready with a little hook on the end just to kind of give me a little swoop. This is 1/2-inch pipe, so I want about a 1/2 inch of solder to go on there. So as I'm doing this, about a 1/2 inch of solder should fill this joint. All right, so heat from the bottoms, because heat rises and will come around. I've got my, the hottest part of the flame is that bright blue. I don't know if you can see that, but the bright blue part right there is the hottest part. So I'm not down here. I'm going to be right up here, get it hot nice and quick. Make sure my piece is in. Not quite ready yet. Just like that. So now that I have only brass, nothing to melt, I need to make sure I know which way is up and which way is down. So what I have here, this has shower stamped on it here and tub stamped on it here. So I need to make sure that my shower is going up so that I know that which way my hot and cold are going to be going on either side. I have my street 90s here, so I'm going to put one in there because my water lines are coming up from the basement. And I'm going to have that go there, and I'm going to have that in there like so. And then again, I've got my street 90 and my male PEX adapter that will fit in there, and I'm going to solder all that together, make sure it's nice and straight going down. I have a male adapter to go to my tub, and I have a male adapter to go to my shower. So all 4 of those will be soldered in like so. Then once that's all cooled off, I'll put the stem back in, assemble the whole thing, and make sure it gets attached in the shower area. I'm going to do the same thing for this, my 2 washing machines, and the other frost-free Silcox. And for the shower, this is a shower only, so I'm going to make sure I know which way is up. I'm going to do a hot and cold, and then I'm going to do one for the shower, and then I will cap the bottom on this one. And that is it. So once I get all those, soldered, I think I'll be ready to install them, attach my water lines, and we're good to go. I'm pretty sure I've got all of them. I keep thinking, all right, I've got everything done, and then, oh yeah, I've got to do that, I should write a list down of all the things that need to be finished. But I'm going to take care of this, and then we'll pick back up.